The U.S. Concealed Carry Association gets unprecedented access to some of the gun industry's coolest locations. This time we're going inside Sig Sauer's ammo factory in Arkansas. Here I will talk with Jason Imhoff with Sig Sauer and show you how great quality ammo comes to life. Quick reminder, stick around until the end. We have some great free resources every responsible gun owner needs.
We're in Jacksonville, Arkansas, suburb of Little Rock, just north and east of town. We run a mix every day. Your higher volume SKUs like 9mm. I mean, 9mm runs around here every day. 300 blackout runs every day. The less lower volume cartridges are on a regular cycle or a production schedule. We of course do what we can to try to minimize changeover impact. So equipment that one day runs a 6.5 Creedmoor, for instance, might the next day run a 308 Winchester, but we obviously try to not create these extreme scenarios where a machine that was on 380 all of a sudden goes to 338 Norma Magnum.
With Sig, quality is king, and it's no different at the Sig ammo plant. We asked Jason, how are you keeping quality up while you automate the ammo making process?
I think it'll be a reoccurring theme, but it's your in-process quality assurance, and it's the process and the equipment that you put together whenever you endeavor to go to create ammunition. And we could get in a ton of specifics, especially having just come off a pretty in-depth plant tour, but it's the instrumentation like the piezoelectric transducers that I showed you that we have on our touch tooling in the component manufacturing area, where we're continuously monitoring tool force, every stroke of the press, every piece of the metal forming process along the way. It's the in-process quality assurance, like on the loading and the assembly equipment that we went through with propellant detection of primer presence, primer orientation, flash hole. You have to have that, built into your process, and that was certainly a goal for us when we set out to create this plant and create these processes.
I've shot Sig ammo for years, and I can tell you it's some of the best on the market. The consistency between lot after lot is perfect. It always functions, and it always does what you want it to do. We had the opportunity to ask how each bullet is made from start to finish.
So, cartridge case manufacturing process. So, start with the cup, sequentially draw until you have the length and the diameter and the wall thickness that you want. Then you do a cold heading operation on the closed end, or a couple of cold heading operations on the closed end of the part. That's how you get the primer pocket formed. That's how you emboss the lettering into the head of the shell. Then you're gonna pierce your flash hole. You're gonna cut your extractor groove. Most likely you're gonna anneal it, depending on exactly what it's gonna be when it's finished. Then you're gonna taper it, you're gonna bottleneck it, like in the case of a 357 Sig, one of not that many handgun cartridges that are bottlenecked, but one of a few. And then trim. Sometimes there's a mouth anneal or a final relief anneal done to the cartridge case. And then, typically an inspection process before that case would be released to the priming department, where it would then have a primer inserted in it, and it would be ready to go to loading. Now, of course, you need a bullet to go with it. So the gist of the bullet manufacturing process is strip and cylindrical lead cores, the strip being copper alloy, gilding metal, commercial bronze, and an antimonial lead core are fed into a bullet assembly machine. In our case, that's a multi-station transfer press. A disc of material is blanked out of the strip. That disc is progressively formed into a cylindrical shape, closed on one end, open on the other. The core is inserted in, and then depending on whether it's going to be a hollow point or an FMJ, it gets forming work done to either the closed end or the open end to complete the finished bullet. So now you got a prime shell, now you got a bullet, now you're ready to go to a cartridge assembly machine and put them together. The last ingredient that you're needing is powder. Several different styles of cartridge assembly equipment. Maybe one of the simpler examples is a rotary type cartridge assembly machine where the prime casing is dropped on a dial, then the dial progresses, the propellant is dropped down into the casing, the dial progresses. In our case, there are a number of inspection steps that are also happening in the background as those parts are progressing along the dial, but then finally you're going to seat a bullet and then potentially crimp the cartridge and then definitely gauge the cartridge before you release it off of the loading machine and into the packaging.
Now, one of the big questions that's been floating around is, where is all the ammo? Have these factories cut back on production? Well, I asked about a single machine that SIG had running, and I noticed that in the 6 months since this machine was installed, it had produced over 26 million projectiles. So I was curious as to what this factory is able to produce in a single day, and we asked Jason.
How about this? I like to talk in terms of production records, right? So 8-hour shift, production record for 9mm, about 500,000, about 500,000.
As promised, we've got some free information on concealed carry reciprocity, self-defense, and the training you need to keep you and your family safe. Click the link down in the description. It's absolutely free and packed with great life-saving information that every responsible gun owner needs. If you like videos like this, remember to subscribe to this channel. We'll talk about guns, ammo, training, and so much more. So click the notification bell and we'll let you know every time we come out with a new video. I'm Kevin Michalowski, Director of Content for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Until next time, stay safe.